Hey guys, so I thought I would get on here and briefly discuss the fact sheets on these COVID-19 vaccines that people sign before they get injected. Somebody had said they wouldn't really understand the fact sheet, and it is hard to kind of read it online in your phone, you know, but when you print it out, it's not as, it's not as bad, I guess. I mean, it's bad in my opinion, but you know what I mean. You can actually see what they're saying. But it's amazing to me how many times they say that this only may prevent you from getting COVID-19. I guess you guys saw what I posted about Tiffany Dover. So somebody's found some stuff on Ancestry.com. I tried to go on that website, but you have to, I guess, sign up for a free trial in order to really get any answers. So I don't know if anybody has access to that, but it definitely looks like somebody's gone on there and posted things from her, what is it, that you get at school, pictures, high school, is it annual? Is that what it's called? An annual? Hey, Brittany, I did. I had a good Christmas. Did you guys have a good Christmas? It was really good. It's been cold here. I mean, of course, I'm in Florida, but it actually got in the 20s 2 nights in a row. So we're only going to get down to 37 tonight, so it seems like a warming trend. Our homes here are not set up for the cold, so when it's cold, it's like really cold, you know? But anyway, so Tiffany Dover, my personal opinion, guys, is this girl's in the morgue, okay? And she's undergoing autopsy. I think she probably maybe left the hospital that day. Maybe she died at home later. I don't really know. According to Ancestry.com, she died, place of death is Higdon, Alabama. There are childhood pictures of her on there. It's pretty interesting. A couple of different people did videos that can access Ancestry.com and their details. It shows her husband, which I wonder where he works. Does anybody have any information on him? It says that his wife died. There's a section there, he was married to her and that she died. So I personally think she's in the morgue. I do not think this was planned. Matter of fact, I think it was completely unplanned. I don't think the pharmaceutical industry saw it coming at all. And they're in oh crap mode, if you know what I mean. And I think eventually they're going to have to come clean with the fact that she died. But they're going to attempt to blame it on something other than vaccine. Either an underlying condition that she had, which of course then anybody with that rare underlying condition would be on notice, or just, anyway, the way pharma does it is they usually don't blame it on the vaccine. So, but I think the truth will come to light. I think the hospital, that video that they made, if you look at it, even though they have the look-alike, whose name is it Heather or Amber or something? I can't remember. They never exactly say that that's Tiffany. I mean, they allude to the fact that it is, but they never interview her. I think they left themselves wiggle room, regardless of what, if this works to fake people out that she's still alive, then it buys us some time. If not, they could say, oh, well, we never said that was Tiffany. That's the way I see it. Anyway, just to be interesting, I'm just continuing to pray for justice for this girl, for justice for her family. Somebody said the hospital had paid them money. I don't know where you get access to that information, so I don't know that would be true. Not saying it couldn't happen, but we're going to go over where they say you report if you are injured. Of course, it doesn't say what happens if you die. So I don't know if her family will have any recourse or what. All right, fact sheet for recipients and caregivers. Emergency use authorization of the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine, blah, 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 for 16 and above. All right, this fact sheet is to help you understand the risks and the benefits. Now, somebody tell me in here the benefits, because so far I haven't found any, but we're going to go over this. So it starts out, the Pfizer Biotech COVID-19 vaccine is a vaccine and may prevent, it is a vaccine and may prevent you from getting COVID-19. There is no U.S. Food and Drug Administration approved vaccine to prevent COVID-19. So right there, they tell you it may prevent. They're not giving you, there is no guarantees. Read the fact sheet, blah, blah, blah. It's administered in a 2-dose series, 3 weeks apart into the muscle. Then again, it says the Pfizer COVID-19 BioNTech, I guess, COVID-19 vaccine may not protect everyone. The reality is it may not protect anyone. It's lovely. What you need to know before getting the vaccine. So then it goes over the symptoms of COVID-19. Symptoms may include fever, chills, cough, shortness of breath, fatigue, muscle or body aches, headache, new loss of taste or smell, sore throat, congestion, runny nose, nausea, vomiting, or diarrhea. Interestingly enough, flu-like symptoms. What is the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine? The Pfizer blah blah is a vaccine, is an unapproved vaccine, here we go again, that may prevent, there is no FDA vaccine approved for COVID-19. So they tell you again, number 2, second time, well really third, because they may not protect everyone, 2 may prevents, may not protect everyone. So you're going on your third, good luck. Authorized for 16 years of older. Then it says, what should you mention to your vaccination provider before you get the vaccine? Tell the vaccination provider about all of your medical conditions, including, if you have allergies, fever, bleeding disorder, immunocompromised, pregnant or plan to become pregnant, breastfeeding, received another vaccine. Well, right out of the gate, Tiffany, our little nurse with vasovagal syncope, whatever syndrome, apparently failed to notify her provider, vaccine provider, of all of her medical conditions. Because if she had, they would have known that she could have fainted after this, and that maybe she wasn't the best person to interview. Setting a fine example there as a CCU nurse, whatever. Who should get the Pfizer vaccine? 16 years and older. Who should not get the Pfizer Biotech vaccine? If you have had a severe allergic reaction after a previous dose of this vaccine, okay, well, we already know there's been several of those. And I'm wondering if they're going to amp down how much they're reporting. But there was another video I saw of a nurse yesterday, cannot remember her name. It's kind of gone viral. She had Bell's palsy. We keep seeing on the news allergic reactions. So I'm assuming that those people will not be getting the second dose unless they're really stupid. Or if you have had a severe allergic reaction to any ingredient in this vaccine. And then it gives you the ingredients. Now, the funny thing is, if you've never injected any of these things before, how can you possibly know if you're going to have an allergic reaction to any of the ingredients? And we went over the ingredients a few videos ago. We've got the mRNA. We've got 4 different lipids that have names this long. The 5th one is cholesterol. I think that's how it goes. There's either 3 or 4 or 5 lipids. One of them is polyethylene glycol, which is a derivative of antifreeze. And they're now saying that that could be the culprit for all these, the severe allergic reactions that are going on. I mean, really, it could be any of them. We've got both potassium chloride, monobasic potassium phosphate, sodium chloride, dibasic sodium phosphate, dihydrate, and sucrose, which the last ingredients, starting with potassium chloride, are actually found in other vaccines, okay? How is the Pfizer Biotech given injection in the muscle? 2 series given 3 weeks apart. They go over that again. Has the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine been used before? No, it is an unapproved vaccine. In clinical trials, approximately 20,000 individuals 16 years of age and older have received at least one dose. What are the benefits? The vaccine has been shown to prevent COVID-19 following 2 doses given apart. The duration of protection against COVID is currently unknown. So we may prevent, it may not prevent everyone. And if you go back and you look at those trials, it was a relative reduction in comparison to another group. In other words, it wasn't absolute reduction, and we don't know if any of those people that were in the vaccine trials were truly exposed to COVID. I mean, there's so many unknowns in this, but they came out with a whopping, it's 95% effective based on what I consider to be a very thin string, okay? What are the risks of the COVID-19 vaccine? Injection site pain, tiredness, headache, muscle pain, chills, joint pain, fever, injection site swelling, injection site redness, nausea, feeling unwell, swollen lymph nodes. So many of the symptoms of COVID-19. There is a remote chance that the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine could cause a severe allergic reaction. A severe allergic reaction would usually occur within a few minutes to 1 hour after getting the dose of COVID-19 vaccine. For this reason, your vaccination provider may ask you to stay in place where you received your vaccine for monitoring after vaccination. Severe allergic reaction can include difficulty breathing, swelling to your face and throat, a fast heartbeat, a bad rash all over your body, dizziness, and weakness. These may not be all the possible side effects of the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine. Serious and unexpected side effects may occur. In other words, you could drop dead. It is still being studied in clinical trials. It does say if you have side effects to complete and submit a report to VAERS. Okay? You can also report side effects to Pfizer. You may also be given an option to enroll in the-safe, a new voluntary smartphone-based tool that uses text messaging and web surveys to check on people who have been vaccinated and to identify potential side effects after COVID-19 vaccination. Tells you how to sign up for that. What if I decide not to get the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine? Now, this is good news. It is your choice to receive or not receive the Pfizer vaccine. Should you decide not to receive it, it will not change your standard of medical care at this point in time, right? They don't know about receiving the Pfizer vaccine with other vaccines. If you are pregnant or breastfeeding, you should discuss your options with your healthcare provider. A lot of people have asked about shedding. Okay, will the Pfizer COVID-19 give me COVID-19? No, they say. The Pfizer Biotech vaccine does not contain SARS-CoV-2 and cannot give you COVID-19. Because the mRNA that they are using is synthesized in a lab. And so I've really felt, even though I haven't really known the whole truth to this question that people have asked me whether it can shed or not, because we're not dealing with a live virus, I'm going to go with no. However, obviously, from all the side effects listed, you can get sick. People are getting sick. It's going to make you sick. I personally just think, why, with all the warnings that they give you, would you subject yourself to this? I keep coming back to that. Then it says, keep your vaccination card. Here, what is the emergency use authorization? All right, and it talks about the Pfizer vaccine has not undergone the same type of review as FDA. FDA may issue an emergency use authorization when certain criteria are met, which includes that there are no adequate, approved, available alternatives. In addition, the FDA decision is based on the totality of the scientific evidence available, showing that the product may be effective to prevent COVID-19 during the COVID-19 pandemic and and that the known and potential benefits of the product outweigh the known and potential risks of the product. So see here, guys, this is why they work so hard to disprove hydroxychloroquine, ivermectin, and have anyone else come out up and say, we've got a cure, we have something that works for COVID-19, because they could not have gotten this emergency use authorization. I mean, it's so perfectly laid out to me what their agenda was. And yet, of this vaccine, they can't claim it prevents COVID-19 either. The most they can say is that it may be effective. The Moderna sheet is really pretty much the same. It's a little shorter. I'm not going to read over it just because it's basically the same thing. The ingredients are basically the same thing. Why one has to be stored at sub-zero temperatures, that would be the Pfizer, and the Moderna can be stored in a refrigerator, is anybody's guess. There is a program, it's called the Countermeasures Injury Compensation Program. Is a federal program that may help pay for cost and medical care and other specific expenses of certain people who have been seriously injured by certain medicines or vaccines, including this vaccine. Generally, a claim must be submitted within 1 year. All right. But you've got a may prevent, which means it may not prevent anything. And I don't know if you guys have got any questions, but that pretty much goes over it. I mean, to me, you would have to have a serious amount of trust in the pharmaceutical industry to do this. And that is not something that I have by any stretch of the imagination, not based on their track record. Crimes against humanity, yep, amen. Haven't really looked at any questions. All vaccines are crime against humanity. They lied. Polio, smallpox, it was a lie. I agree with you. I had a cousin that died of polio. I think he was 12 years old. And the sad thing is, nobody is left that's alive for me to really ask about what went on. But I'll bet you 10 to 1 he got vaccinated. I was reading online another woman who knew a child growing up who was vaccinated for polio and ended up dying after getting the vaccine. So when you really look at, and maybe one day I'll do a video on that, the statistics of polio and how much of the population in America it really affected, it is strikingly small. As a matter of fact, so much that you can look on, what's it called? It's the U.S. Vital Statistics. It's like an official, going back to 1900 and what was going on with the diseases and the mortality. So they've got like measles, smallpox, dysentery, flu and pneumonia, tuberculosis, scarlet fever, which incidentally there was never been a vaccine and it died out. Just different main diseases. Well, polio is not listed in there. And it's because it never affected a large enough percent of the population to actually make it into U.S. vital statistic records. It's really absolutely mind-blowing how they have built that whole thing up to be so much bigger than it ever was when you really look at the amount of people that were affected. I don't mean died. Really a very small percentage of people died of polio, but were even affected by polio as a whole, ever even had polio. And like 95% of polio is asymptomatic. You don't even know you had it. So it's insane. My dad died of anaphylaxis. My whole family has severe allergies as I do. I really feel like this vax will kill me. Oh, I think there's no doubt. There's no doubt. I mean, I don't know who would willingly sign on to have polyethylene glycol injected into you. There's a statement on the CDC website, or maybe it's not CDC, maybe it's CHOP, Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, where they're talking about, all the different ingredients in vaccines. And some brilliant, and I'm being facetious, brilliant individual, and it doesn't give a quote of who, says, the dose makes the poison. No. Poison is poison in any dose. It may be that you can take a very small amount of poison and survive, but poison is still poison. My son got so sick and came close to me. Yeah, that's why I don't trust them anymore. Well, I'm glad he didn't die, for sure, and I'm glad you stopped. I got the flu shot twice and I almost died. Yeah. Yep, the flu shot, about every flu shot has formaldehyde in addition to a bunch of other goodies. So, but anyway, guys, if you do have any questions, you can email me. My email is thewisepharmacist@gmail.com. I need to update my website. I really haven't worked very much on that. I feel like I need to put a link to where people can get, these fact sheets, and probably just do a whole section on this COVID-19 vaccine, because I posted another thing from a nurse yesterday who got the COVID vaccine and just was hospitalized, I think, for 2 days, horrible anaphylactic reaction. And in all of it, at the end, she's like scratching her head trying to decide if she's going to get the second dose and thinking, I think she thinks probably not. And I'm like, because she's not ready to die anytime soon. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it's going to take to wake people up. I really don't. Where can I find those fact sheets? I found them through Googling. I literally just typed in Pfizer COVID-19 fact sheet. It pops right up. It's a 6-page document you can pick up. You can print out. The Moderna is a 4-page. You type in Moderna 4-page, and it pops right up. I have a feeling this is a well sought out piece of information. I didn't have any problem finding it. I just wanted to print them out so I could underline it and see what I wanted to go over. But anyway, well, guys, I have got to get going because I got to go to work. Can you do a live on the flu vax? Never got it, but my mom is scared not to get it. Oh my gosh. Yes, I definitely can. Let me see. What is your name? T-A-L. Okay. Yeah. I've done some videos on the flu vaccine. You know what? I was wondering this morning, because the flu's magically disappeared this year. Of course, if you're paying attention to what is going on, you know what's happened. Everybody that is flu has gotten diagnosed as COVID-19 because there's financial incentive to be COVID-19. And I guess they're not testing for influenza. They're so busy testing for COVID-19. But I was wondering what the uptick of the flu vaccine has been this year compared to years prior. You're welcome, sweetie. Yep, I will do that for sure. We'll go over the flu vaccine and the ingredients, because I had a patient almost die after getting the vaccine, and I can't count how many have told me I got it and I still got the flu. I got the flu and I got pneumonia. It's just, in my humble opinion, it is one of the most worthless shots on the planet. By ingredients, by efficacy, by lack of studies to prove that people who get the flu shot have a less incidence of the flu, because they never look into the healthy when they make that statement about everybody should get the flu shot. It's the best way to protect against the flu. The problem is they don't even factor in people that didn't get sick and go to the hospital. So how can you make a blanket statement of health for the whole entire planet or the USA when you haven't studied all the people involved, like the healthy that never got sick and never showed up at the doctor? It doesn't make any sense. I wonder what she's experienced because of these videos too. Who's experienced? You mean Tiffany? we talking about Tiffany? Oh no. If you're talking about Tiffany, I think there is no Tiffany. Tiffany is no longer with us. So let's just keep praying for justice in the name of Jesus for this family, declaring that, okay? It's really sad, but such a shining example of how pharmaceutical industry handles things that are uncomfortable that they don't want to have to report on. They just kind of under the carpet. My son got started having a perfectly healthy baby. I'm so sorry. How is he now? Hold on, let me see. She asked if your employer ever gives you any slack for making these visits. I don't work as a pharmacist for anybody. I work for Lowe's right now. No, they don't give me a bit of slack. I mean, yeah, or flack, whatever. I had a friend of mine, pharmacist, the other day, text me, "Oh, Lori, I know how you feel about vaccines, but, you know, such and such is paying $61 an hour to hire pharmacists that'll give the COVID-19 vaccine. Like, you know, what will a man give in exchange for his soul?" And I was like, I know too much. Sorry. Plus, at the end of the day, I got to answer to God. I'll never, ever be able to work as a pharmacist where I'm injecting people with vaccines. It's just, it's a no-go for me, 100%. So, I'm praying for the industry to change, and I see some changes in some arenas, but it's not worth the money to me. And at the end of the day, I got to answer to God. And the thing is, y'all's blood is on my hands. It's on every pharmacist's hands. So they're going to have to answer to God too, because it's right here in black and white. This is pure D, human experimental guinea pigs. That's what these people are. And they're signing on for it. And it's sad. It's pathetic for a disease that has 99+% recovery rate. You know, it's insane. In my opinion, it's completely insane. All right, we're talking about you. Does your employer threaten you for making these videos? Lowe's? No. No. I'm sure if I worked for Winn-Dixie or CVS, I mean, I'd be fired in a heartbeat. I don't even think we'd be having a discussion. Matter of fact, I don't even think I could get hired, because all they'd have to do is look me up, and you know they do, and I post on LinkedIn too. I mean, I'm very vocal about what I'm doing, because because here's the thing, the truth will always be known. These other pharmacists that are head in the sand, I'm not going to pay attention, I got to pay my mortgage and all this kind of stuff. At some point, you got to pay the piper. And so it's a pay me now, pay me later. Well, for me, I'm in the pay me now category, and once I started realizing a couple of years ago what was in these flu vaccines, I knew that I'd never be going back to a retail situation where I am being forced to inject people. So it is what it is. Yeah, and I live a lot leaner now than I used to. I will say that. But you know what? I can look in the mirror and I don't have to be ashamed. So anyway, with the grace of God only. My father died on 23 medications. When he died from sepsis, they put congestive heart failure on the death certificate. I bet they did. I mean, the number of prescription drugs that people are on this day and age, guys, is complete insanity. But a lot of it is because the healthcare industry does not educate people on how to take care of themselves, on how to practice healthy lifestyle habits, on plant-based diet, or even just a more plant-based diet, and not so much animal fat, saturated fats, processed foods. All they do is throw drugs at you, drugs and vaccines. That's their answer to everything. And we see where society is. Very, very sick. And we also see that diseases like influenza, COVID-19, whatever, wreak havoc on people that have the underlying conditions, are on all the prescription drugs. Those are the ones who are dying of this disease. So, like I saw on a doctor's Facebook page, she said, this would be an excellent reset time to deal with those underlying conditions. You know, in other words, instead of getting another vaccine or more drugs or whatever, why don't we focus on learning how to take care of yourselves and boosting your immune system? What a concept. All right, guys, I got to jump off of here. Speaking of work, I'm supposed to be at work at 2 o'clock, so I got to get going. But anyway, if you have any questions, again, it's thewisepharmacist@gmail.com. gmail.com, or thewisepharmacist.com is my website. All right, back soon. Love you guys. Have a great day. Talk soon.